Ladies and gentlemen, nerds and neckbeards,
neckbeards.
welcome to another episode of Westeros Wheneverly, Lee.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, Tana.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing really, really good. What are we drinking tonight, my dear friend? We're doing a thing.
So today we are drinking whiskey sours. A
little throwback
to our Stannis episode when we drank Stannis Sours. We have a little bit of a twist on it. Oh my god, that sounded like something else. That was like the whoop. Oh, do that a couple more times. It's what it's going to sound like later. Anyway,
good luck. Yes.
So with my Stannis Sour, at least, I am using a Bullet Rye whiskey, so it's a little strong. But in order to balance it out, I have this little shoddy dew of blue curacao. I'm going to pour it in live here.
Ooh, that is blue. That is blue on green. It's kind of a murky yellow, really.
Yeah,
I bet that's going to swirl up nicely.
It kind of all settled at the bottom, and I forgot to bring a spoon, so I'm like very carefully
I could do my spoon cheers. Ready? That's
okay.
A little better.
Wait, can you do the thwomp?
I have a little bit of a spoon.
Can you do the thwomp again? It's kind of worth it.
Man.
Must drink. Oh, yes. Oh, what a thump.
I have a plastic tumbler next to my glass. I forgot to bring in a second glass to cheers myself with since we're not in the same room. But I also have some blue curacao that I am reticent to pour into my whiskey sour, my friend. Because my whiskey sour... Okay, so...
Because your whiskey sour tastes good and mine does not. Because I mean... I'll do anything to make mine taste better, but...
The classic whiskey sour is made, if you're doing it correctly, you will do it with lime juice or lemon juice. The classic has lemon juice. I prefer lime juice.
Okay.
But don't use like a powdered sour mix or so. Like, be good to yourself and use the juice of citrus. Use a lemon, use a lime. I use freshly squeezed Florida limes, naturally. And
did you grow these limes?
I did not.
Oh.
I bought them in bulk from Costco because that's my whole life.
Mm-hmm. Your whole life is a bag of limes from Costco?
It really is. It's a metaphor. There's a metaphor in there, David. I pucker every time I think of it. So I have that because this is an episode kind of about Stannis. So we're trying a new format with the show where there's a difference between where people are in the show and who's alive and who's dead and the show's over, and where the books are, which is way, way, way back. And so we thought that we would kind of take an approach to see like, okay, well, let's just reset. Okay, going into Winds of Winter, where is everyone? Who's still alive? So our series is now going to be called Who is Still Alive? The Northern Edition. Like, that's going to be today's episode.
So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to play. Get ready to play Who is Still Alive in the
Westeros.
North.
In the north.
North.
But so we're going to be talking about Stannis a little bit, and I thought, when I'm thinking about what whiskey to use, every king, David, needs his crown.
Oh, that was smart.
See?
That was smart.
So I'm using Crown Royal Canadian whiskey, a little
Very
crown
nice.
for my king.
It's about time we had some of that on the show, eh?
And instead, so it's lime juice. I'm using Crown Royal Canadian whiskey, and instead of a traditional simple syrup, I'm using cherry juice from my BADA BING cherries to sweeten it up just a bit, and I did a dash of Woodford Reserve cherry bitters as well over the top. And so I have this wonderful drink
that you don't want to ruin with blue curacao.
Yeah,
I got it.
I got a little nip of blue curacao right here, and I don't really want to pour it in there.
All right. Don't pour it in there. Just rub it in my face. That had to sweeten mine up. But I'll tell you this much: the blue curacao. It did make the drink better.
Did it do the trick?
It did.
Yeah, okay. Well, if I have to do a little top up later in the show,
you might have to.
then
speaking of
I
topping
will use
up,
the blue curacao. Yes,
we
David.
have a couple of sponsors for this episode, actually.
We do.
Yes,
we do.
and so just to let you guys know, we got a wonderful email
it
from
was so sweet
from a wonderful listener, and he gave us some dough to buy us some drinks, and so
he gave us an Amazon gift card to buy booze. How sweet is that?
Amazing.
I love it.
In honor of him, Thunderclap is his name. A great name, by the way.
Thanks, Thunderclap.
Tons of. It's kind of almost. You know what? When you do the thwump, that's what we should call that, because that's basically what it sounds like.
It's the Thunderclap.
That's the Thunderclap.
Like this thing?
Yeah, that's the Thunderclap right there.
It's a little sad for a Thunderclap, but we'll take it, I guess.
I mean, I'll take it. Anyway, so we're going to buy some Don Papa rum. So for Thunderclap, and because he suggested it. And that's going to be our, when we bring back the River Run, that's going to be our drink. The River Run rum.
Yep, so we're going to do our River Rum Punch when we do a recap of who's in the Riverlands and who's at the Tully seat.
Yes.
Oh, it's so exciting. And I'm very excited to get into this this episode. I plan on kind of just doing a front-to-back Stump Dave episode, but go on.
All right. You know, something. I did a little homework, so I did read a little bit about what's going on in the North at the end of the books. Okay. I did not take any notes, so we'll see if I can remember any of it. But before we get there, we have to always we have to shout out to the other sponsors of this particular episode, which of course has to do with some delicious ice cream. So I'm gonna just quickly go ahead and read this off to you. So, do you like amazing ice cream? Do you like no sugar whatsoever? Do you like the hard work of churning it yourself? Well, come on down to Benjamin and Jogos's fermented mare's milk ice cream, because you can eat whatever flavor you want as long as you make it yourself. As long as it comes out of that mare's titty, we'll make it. So, Benjamin and Jogos fermented mare's milk ice cream is a sponsor of Westeros Wheneverly.
Wheneverly. Get Benjamin and Jogos fermented mare's milk wherever fine ice creams are sold.
Or mares are found.
Yes, and it would be a boozy ice cream too.
Oh yes, because it's fermented. Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever poured like Kahlua on top of ice cream or Bailey's or something, and then just like you have kind of a frosty?
It's like a milkshake.
Or like, a little bit, or like do a little drizzle of what's the almond liqueur? It's really Di Serono. You just like drizzle that on some vanilla ice cream or vanilla caramel swirl.
We should be marketing agents, I think. Just come up with yeah, I agree. I think we're quitting our jobs. Okay, so let's do it.
All right.
Take us back, Tana, in our Wayback Machine, back to the books. And welcome to Who Is Still Alive? Live in the North.
Stumpin' Dave.
Some
David.
get questions right, and others are Dave.
Question 1.
Yes.
Stannis Baratheon.
Yes.
Alive or dead?
He's alive.
Do you know where he is? Correct. Ding.
I believe last we seen he is marching towards Winterfell to reclaim Winterfell from Le Boltons.
That is correct. Ding.
Yes.
Who else is either nominally or allied?
Oh, allied.
Either nominally or
who else is allied?
Real,
Wait, did you mean alive or allied?
with the Boltons that are holding Winterfell. What other major houses are at Winterfell, David?
That would be the Manderleys.
Ding.
The Freys.
Ding. One more major player. There are several to choose from.
Umber.
Who is another major? Ding.
Yes,
okay. All of
I
these
did
are
it.
Correct, Dave. You're doing it. Okay.
Hold on, I need a victory sip.
Okay. Cheers. All men must drink.
All men
thunderclap.
must drink. Thunderclap.
Yeah. Well, we should actually have like a cuckoosh now.
I think you just made it. You're doing it now.
We can work it into the show for sure.
Yeah.
Stannis.
Yes.
Is not on the open road. He is located in
I get multiple choice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Stannis is not located on the open road. He is located in A, a crofter's village, B, a lakeshore town, D, a deserted island, or C, in the middle of a big fucking blizzard. Or E, kind of all of the above.
I'm going to go with in the middle of a big fucking blizzard.
I mean, ding, but it was kind of all of the above.
I don't remember him being on an island.
I know. So he is located on a crofter's village, which is on the side of a lake.
What is a crofter?
So a crofter is like a small town maker of things. We also have the Google, and we could probably Google this.
Small town maker of things. So like he makes
like
horseshoes and he makes tables, and he has a degree in advanced underwater basket weaving.
Yes, advanced though.
Yep.
It's
yes, obviously, yes.
Obviously.
Yeah.
No, it's just like a small little village, I think, and where people croft things. It is a crofter, a person who farms a croft.
Who farms a croft?
very, very, very useful.
You know,
a croft
thank
is
you, Google.
Chiefly British. Yeah. A small enclosed field, usually adjoining a house, a small farm worked by a tenant. So a very small farming village on the side of a lake.
So like if you go out back in your house and you have a little planter, you are a crofter.
I think that's a bit of a stretch, but you're on the right road here.
Got it.
Now
I'm not in the middle of a blizzard though. So
you are not.
No.
So there has been a blizzard for days and days, and the march of Stannis' army on its way to Winterfell has been slowed to a stop. They have set up camp in this crofter's village, where they have been a 3-day march from Winterfell for the last 19 days. They've just been besieged by snow. They're being buried in it.
Yeah, the Southern Lords can't do anything. Their horses aren't used to it, and they're just like, how the fuck are we going to get there? And oh my god, we're just going to stay here in this nice little crofter village, and we'll just go outside and plant some crops, and it's going to be great. And then you got the northern men with fucking bear pelts and fucking, giant beards, and they're just like, oi, let's go. I don't know why they're like Australian. I don't know why the North men, they're like Australian.
Solid accent work, my friend. Solid.
Look.
Solid.
Been watching a lot of Critical Role. Been playing a lot of D&D recently. I've been working on my accents. Okay.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. No, it's important to do. I did a French accent for no reason when Kirsten and I were playing Rummy Cube the other day, and I don't know why. It came to me. I was feeling inspired.
Rummy.
Indeed. So we have Stannis. Question for Dave. Stump Dave.
Okay, Stumpin' Dave. Question 2.
Stannis is 3 days march, as the crow flies, from Winterfell, where he has been in this crofter's village for 19 days. Where is Stannis' army coming from?
Now, my gut is telling me Castle Black.
Well, I mean, it's not it's wrong.
Yeah,
but it's not a terrible choice. They left Castle Black.
Yes.
Stannis left Castle Black to be feasted by all the northern lords and tell them how amazing they are, so that they would join his army.
Where did he go after that, though? That's the question. Did he go?
He went to. Yep. Where did he go, David? I'm gonna look at my map over here.
Oh no.
And I'm gonna name some northern things. Did he go to? Where was he last before he's going to Winterfell? Did he go to Last Hearth? Did he go to Barrowton? Did he go to Deepwood Motte? Did he go to Torrhen Square?
All right, there's no way he found Deepwood Motte, because that castle fucking moves around and is on marshes. So no one saw them. Wait, yes? He went there?
That's where he came from.
Damn it!
You're thinking of Greywater Watch. This is why we're doing this.
Yes, that's what I meant.
We're doing the recap.
Yes, you're right. I thought Howland Reed was at Deepwater Motte, isn't he? No?
Howland Reed is, yes.
Yes, okay.
The Glovers, helmed by Cybele Glover, are the ones that hold Deepwood Motte, and the reason that Stannis marched on it most recently is because it was held by a certain Greyjoy.
That's right.
Stumpin' Dave, what Greyjoy was holding Deepwood Motte?
Asha.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yes,
ding.
I know that one.
So good, man. You're doing so good.
One.
You're killing it. So there's a big scene towards the end of Dance with Dragons where I think it's called the King's Prize or something like that, where he assaults. It's an Asher Greyjoy chapter. She's in Deepwood Mott. She's treated them really fairly, Sybil Glover, and has been like super nice, but knows that feels like the trees are coming in around her. And it was actually the Northmen that had been sneaking up on the castle, and she fights with them and is taken prisoner by Stannis and his Northmen. So Stannis did leave Castle Black. He was feasted by the Northern Lords.
Yep. He frees them from the Ironborn and any other oppressors. Oppressors. There we go. All right. We're good.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Cheers, my friend. All men.
Must drink.
Thunderclap.
Oh my God! When I did that,
can't get over how nice it was to have somebody sponsor our podcast.
When I did that in the recording window, it looked the sound wave looked like a penis. Like it went like big to skinny, and then it made a little mushroom head. It was.
I'll take your word for it.
Remember 1646, so I can go back and find it.
That's the furthest we've ever made it into a podcast without mentioning a penis, I think.
We got lucky. Stannis, I almost did it with our ice cream, our little ice cream sponsor. So.
Oh, that's so true. Let's see. So we have 4 Northmen that Stannis has been picking up. You've got Stumping Dave.
Okay.
Name as many northern houses, lords,
okay.
that are loyal to Winterfell as you can in 10 seconds.
Karstark. Kind of. Oh God.
You named one earlier.
Glover, Umber.
Yep. Yes. Ding ding.
Let's see. What are the Mormonts?
The Mormonts, yes. The Littles, the Norries, the Tall Hearts, the Big Bucket Wall, the Wolves.
The Wolves. Ooh.
Yeah. The Flints, the Risewells, the Kerwins.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, so some of them are a little further south, but Stannis was doing his little get feasted by the northern of the northern lords, like Flint and Nori and Little and those guys, and so he was able to add about 3,000 troops to his, struggling.
And those are the
lords.
men that had Australian accents earlier, and they were like, "Let's go to the castle." Like? Oi, why are we sitting here? Let's get to the castle. Good eye, mate, and put some shrimp on the barbie.
I'm picturing, like, the giant of House Umber with, like, his broken shackles, just like, oi, with, like, one of the, I don't know, an Australian hat and the
Foster's
crocodiles and D.
Westeros for beer.
Oh, fantastic. Now, David,
yes.
Who is on Team Bolton? So Roose Bolton is now holding Winterfell, the seat of power in the north. Who all is who's friends with Roose? So who does he have around him?
He's got the Freys. He's got the Manderleys, who are, I think they're just kind of following the Freys at that point. They don't. I think they more support the Starks, but they're there.
Yep.
Let's see. They've got who did I say already? I said the Freys and the Manderleys.
Just the Freys and the Manderleys. That's all you've said so far.
I know Umber. I know House Umber is there.
Yes. Okay.
Little John. Is it Little John Umber who's there? So
you're making me so happy. You remember, your chaotic mind remembers things in chunks, and this is delightful.
What's crazy about this too is this is not part of the stuff that I read earlier today to remind me. This
so you're
I'm
digging
pulling.
Deep.
I opened my bag of holding, pulled out a dance with dragons, and just my mind is melding with it. So
you are in it, and I am here for it. So you said so let's talk about House Umber for a second.
Yes. Divided, because Humbers won't fight Umbers. You got to remember that.
Yes. That actually is kind of, I think, So the show says that Umber won't fight Umber, and I think that they mean that, but what we have is a division. So Stumping Dave question.
Yeah.
House Umber is the house at Last Hearth. That's their seat. It is run by a man who is not present right now because he's being held hostage at the Twins. Question for Dave.
Yes.
Who is the Lord of House Umber?
I want to say it's Great John, right?
It is. It's Great John Umber.
It's Great John Umber.
In the books, as in with the show. But unlike with the show, his Great John isn't murdered at the Red Wedding. I don't know if that happens in the show. I think maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
But in the books, it's his son and heir, the one that they call Small John Umber, who is murdered. Yeah. And so his son is murdered. The Lord of Last Hearth is now sitting in a dungeon in custody of the Freys. So who is running Last Hearth and House Umber? There are two correct answers here. They're kind of co-castellans of Last Hearth. Ooh. And fascinating, wonderful barbarian figures in Game of Thrones. I love these two guys. I'll just cut to the chase.
Cut to the chase. Do it.
Okay. One is Hothor Umber, nickname Horsebane.
Horsebane.
Horsebane Umber. And then there is his brother. He's an uncle to Great John. So Great John's older... much older. So not Giantsbane, but very close. It is where did my note go? Moore's Crowfood Umber is
I would not have gotten that
so
one.
So there's Horsebane and Crowfood. And Crowfood is outside. I'm gonna give you a little description from Dance with Dragons.
All right, lay it on us.
An old man, huge and powerful, with ruddy face and a shaggy white beard. He had been seated on a garron, clad in the pelt of a gigantic snow bear, its head his hood. Under it, he wore a stained white leather eye patch that reminded Theon of his uncle Euron. Moore's Crowfood Umber. He saves...
white eye patch.
It just sounds like some D&D shit, doesn't it?
It does.
So Theon and Jane Poole jump from the 80-foot curtain wall. In the show, it's Sansa. In the book, it's Jane Poole.
Well,
they land in the snow.
There's two things important to know about this in the book. Is that not only is it not Sansa, but it's
Importantly, it's not
Sansa, but it is also not pretending to be Sansa. Jane Poole is being sold off as Arya. So no one knows where Arya is, and Littlefinger decides he's going to sell Jane Poole to Roose Bolton's son Ramses as Arya, and Sansa is there as well as Theon is there to corroborate this. Correct.
So Sansa is not there. So Sansa is still she's with Littlefinger, up in the Eyrie, pretending to be his natural-born daughter. So Sansa has not been... Yes. Yeah. Sansa has not been to the north at all. But they're selling this as if it were Arya Stark. And they need Theon, the formerly Reek, a tortured and half-mad shell of a man, to try to sell this lie to the Northern Lords. Roose Bolton and Ramsay Snow are thinking that, here's Theon. He grew up as a brother to them. If he says it's Arya and she can answer a few questions like, who was the cook? Who was the, smith? The answer to those questions are Gage was the cook, which she remembers immediately. Moore's Crowfood Umber, when he finds Theon and fake Arya, he's like, oh, hey, so you're Arya, huh? Who was the cook in that castle the last time I came to visit you? And she's like, oh, it's Gage. He used to make me and Sansa lemon cakes. Yeah. And he's like, okay, all right. Who's the castle blacksmith? And she's like, fuck. And Theon in his head is like, Mikken, it's Mikken. But like, she's a girl. She's like, she didn't care who. And he's like, it's Mikken. I killed him. I had him killed right in front of me. And I'm like, yeah, you fucking did, Theon. Yeah, you did. I'll never forget. I'm still so sour about Mikken.
Well, you know what? Be sour. Drink your Mikken sour.
Stannis Sour.
That's right.
Oh. My Stannis Sour, Mick Sour. Anyway, so
I think this is actually kind of important though, because if you think about it, right, these lords wouldn't know what Arya looked like in reality. This makes almost genius sense to try to pass someone else off as Arya,
Yep. And so they dust Theon off and they try to make it seem, but Theon is obsessed about the eye color of Jane Poole and how she has brown eyes and Arya has gray eyes of a Stark.
Yeah.
There's also a Stark look. Jane Poole's father was the steward, I think. He ran the books and stuff at Winterfell, and so he was, important to the family, but he doesn't look like a Stark.
Yeah.
And in any of the lords and ladies that are there, I think there is a lot of evidence contextually that they
don't believe. Yeah.
But they're just going along with it.
Yeah, well, you find out very easily when Mander Lee is talking about, eating pie and how he almost gets his third chin chopped off.
Yes, I read that chapter again today, or the chapter before it is the one where he feeds the Frey pies. He's serving from his own, his own fat self is serving out the pie. It's the best pie you'll ever taste. And he calls for the rat cook. It's such a beautifully executed chapter. And one of the best, once you know what to look for, it's the way that these chapters unfold to you are just pretty wonderful. Anyway, what other questions do you have, David? Who else are you wondering about in the North that might be still alive?
Well, I mean, I would say Jon Snow, but I think the last we leave him is he's being stabbed to death by his brethren. So
yep, he is dead. I would like to do maybe something that focuses in on Castle Black or what's going on with the Night's Watch as the last line of defense.
Okay.
Yeah, because there are so many wildlings that I think are important to the story, and so many, you have Val, the wildling princess, you have Alice Karstark that marries the Magnar of Then. You have all this important stuff happening at Castle Black that I think we could do an entire where are they now, or what are we calling it?
Would you include
still alive?
Would you include Mance Rayder in that, or would you include that in this episode because Mance
Rayder and his washerwomen are in Winterfell.
In Winterfell, disguise.
Yes, and who is he disguised as, David?
If I remember correctly, it's some bard, music entertainer. Yeah, music entertainer.
It's not Bale the Bard, it's Abel and his washerwomen, except Abel, Abel, is what is it when you have the same letters, but you mix them up?
Oh, it's an anagram.
It's an anagram of Bale the Bard.
That's not it.
It might be.
No.
Anagram might be right.
I think anagram is the same thing forward and back.
No, that's a palindrome.
Oh, that is
race car
that is a palindrome.
Or Taco Cat.
Yeah. Oh, I like that one. Taco Cat. Yeah.
I think, is it Taco Cat? I think is the same for it. And
Taco
then
Cat.
There's one, what did the very first man say to the very first woman? It's a kind of a Jesus joke, but I don't care. It's a palindrome. What did they say?
Want to have sex?
Matt.
Oh. I don't know. Where do I put this?
Still not a palindrome, David. Still not a palindrome.
Well, I
don't. Madam, I'm Adam is a palindrome.
Oh. Okay. I still don't think that was the first words that they said. No fucking way.
I'm going to go with you on that. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to take a controversial opinion and agree with you. I was going back through all of my my recordings in my phone today, and I found the pink letter, the bastard letter.
Oh,
and
it's so brutal.
It is pretty bad, but I think that we should play it because the idea here is that I think it sets up, it's one of the mysteries that remains at the end of Dance with Dragons.
Okay.
Jon gets stabbed, right? Like he gets the bastard letter, this pink letter from Ramsay Bolton saying that Ramsay had killed Stannis, that he's got his magic sword, that he found Mance Rayder. All of this stuff sort of comes to a head in the books. Jon, what does Tormund say to him? Tormund Giant.
He says, He says, "I've got your girl that I've tortured too," or something like that, right? And so Jon thinks it's Sansa.
Tormund is watching him read this, and Tormund says, "What is it, Crow? It looks like your father's bloody head just rolled out of that paper."
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to play this. We used to have a thing where I could plug it in and make the sound quality good. So I'm just playing it off my phone. Let's see if it works.
Don't you have my mixer? Don't you have my old mixer?
I do, but I don't have the right cable for it.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna play the bastard letter, and then we're gonna talk about it. Okay, David?
All right.
Okay. Here we go. Nope.
Nope.
I think I have to put on speaker.
No Lord Snow or Jon Snow or Lord Commander, simply bastard. And the letter was sealed with a smear of hard pink wax.
Bastard.
You were right to come at once, Jon
too
said.
Quiet. This might be
No, it sounds
You were
good.
right to be afraid. He cracked the seal, flattened the parchment, read. Your false king is dead, bastard. He and all his host were smashed in 7 days of battle.
7 days of
I
battle.
have his magic sword. Tell his red whore. Your false king's friends are dead. Their heads upon the walls of Winterfell. Come see them, bastard. Your false king lied, and so did you. You told the world you burned the king beyond the wall. Instead, you sent him to Winterfell to steal my bride from me. I will have my bride back. If you want Mance Rayder back, come and get him. I have him in a cage for all the North to see, proof of your lies. The cage is cold, but I have made him a warm cloak for the skins of the 6 whores who came with him to Winterfell.
Ooh.
I want my bride
So
back.
savage.
I want the false king's queen. I want his daughter and his red witch. I want his wildling princess. I want his little prince, the wildling babe. And I want my reek. Send them to me, bastard, and I will not trouble you or your black crows. Keep them from me, and I will cut out your bastard's heart and eat it.
Such a charming guy.
True-born Lord of Winterfell.
Definitely doesn't have a complex there at all.
Nope.
Thank you to Roy Dotrice, who reads that beautifully, and the A Song of Ice and Fire audiobook, from which I made a recording on my telephone machine. I will figure out how to get it so that it sounds. I don't have to play it from my phone. We can get a high quality, but in the meantime.
I like that. He kind of it's like a telegram, and he uses bastard as almost like the stop.
Yes.
He's like,
oh my, yes, exactly. Instead of do
stop. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, hello, how are you doing today? Stop. I want to go to the mall. Stop. It's
yes.
Hello, how are you doing today, bastard? I killed everyone you loved, and I want to make sure that everyone dies, bastard. I don't know why I went into Shatner there a little bit, but
well, no, you went into I read it as you're doing a newsroom, a hello news update on the 10s. Today, in the newsreels, it was black and white newsreel. So this tells us a couple things. There was 7 days of battle. Yeah. That's the first thing that sticks out to me. None of this has happened in the book, right? This is one of the bastard's letter, or the pink letter, as it's sometimes called, is considered one of the mysteries, and one of the clues to unlocking things that have yet, to happen or are about to happen in Winds of Winter. Excuse me again.
Yeah, but so we know from a release chapter, right? Spoilers.
There's a Theon release chapter.
That Stannis finds Theon, it holds him captive. Yes. And Asha comes to treat with him. So does Stannis decide to run away? Does he actually get defeated, and does he escape? Or I don't remember if we ever learn if these acts actually happen.
So the Theon chapter happens right before any of this other stuff happens.
Oh, is that what it is?
The letter.
Okay.
So Stannis is he has gotten a letter from Jon Snow because there's a black sealing wax that we recognize from Castle Black. So we don't know for sure that it's Jon Snow, but an educated guess will tell us that it is. Telling Stannis, among other things, that Arnulf Karstark is a traitor.
Yep.
And is going to turn his cloak, the Karstarks, Arnulf and Arthur, his son, and he comes to Stannis with 3 grandsons. I actually have it here. He comes with a bunch of people, and Karstark is the only northern lord to accept Stannis. Stannis has to wine and dine the hillmen of the north to get them to side with him, but none of the major houses like Cerwyn or Risewell or any of those guys side with Stannis. Except for Karstark. And Karstark does it intending to turn his cloak. He is allied with the Dreadfort and with House Bolton. And so his plan
and we think that this is also due to the fact that Robb Stark slighted, right, Karstark because Jaime got away and that whole thing.
Yes, yeah. Rickard Karstark's 2 sons died defending Robb Stark in battle. They died in battle. And Rickard, to take his vengeance for Robb showing leniency, kills 2 of the Freys in their cells, denying them guest right and murdering them in cold blood. And so the Karstarks are really mad at House Stark. And so there's some stuff here. There's some bad feelings, but the idea is that the Karstarks have embedded themselves with Stannis. They got there 8 days ago. Stannis has been in the Crofters' village for 19 days, and Arnulf came, and Jon Snow just outed Arnulf that he is going to be a traitor, that he is going to betray you and turn his cloak. And I have this for those of you that care about the sort of like disposition of things I can find. He comes to them with 80
and 8 days ago, Arnulf Karstark decided to turn his cloak and kill someone.
Stannis. He's gonna try to kill Stannis. But he comes with 1 son, 3 grandsons, 400 spears, 20 archers, and 12 mounted lances.
What's a score?
Mounted lances.
Is that 100?
I think it's 12. What is a score?
Score?
Google.
Tell
us what a score is.
What is a score?
Score amount? 20.
20. Okay, so 40. 40 archers.
40 archers. Okay. Yeah. So 40 archers, 400 spears, 12 mounted lances, a turncloak maester named Tybald, and a cage of ravens with only enough food for his own troops. Some more numbers. Stannis used to have 800 horses. They're down to 64.
They had to eat them.
Yes. And he's about to send 12 of them north to the wall with a Braavosi banker, Stump Dave.
Oh, that's right. He's still around.
What is the name of the Braavosi banker that shows up in Stannis' camp in a chapter in Dance with Dragons?
I think it's Tyrosh?
So close, buddy.
Tyrosh?
It's Tycho. Nestorius.
I forgot that we were making toys.
Yeah, it's Tycho.
Yeah.
So that's what he's doing. Yeah. So Tycho Nestorius, and Tycho shows up, Stump Dave, with what group of soldiers? So an unexpected group of saved soldiers. You might also call them sailors. That's your clue.
Sailors. So funny. It's not the Iron. Is it? It's the Iron Fleet? Oh.
So at Deepwood Mott, Sybil Glover inherited several Ironborn captives, including Carl the Maid and Christopher Botley. who are friends of Asha Greyjoy. They were helping her hold that castle. And Tychos Nestorius comes looking. So you have to remember that Deepwood Mott is more north than Winterfell.
Yeah.
So it's
Winterfell's
right on the coast.
actually
There's
pretty south, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of in the center-ish of the north, and it's surrounded by the Wolf's Wood. And the Wolf's Wood goes all the way up to the coastline, up to the north, that has Deepwood Mott right on that coast, and then Bear Island is out in that inlet.
Yeah.
And then across from Bear Island is like the beginning of the wall, the true north. So Bear Island is really, really up high. But Deepwood Mott is right on that coastline, which is why Asha was there with her Ironborn, and they were retreating to the sea. Her, Christopher Botley, Carl the Maid, they have that great scene together where they talk about sailing for peaches and then the Warhorn Sound, and it's Stannis and the Northmen, and they take her prisoner, and they fight and run, but they also imprison her, these dudes. Well, Tychos rolls up, the Bravosi banker, to talk to Stannis, decides to pay this hefty ransom for these, strong soldiers to help him get through the woods.
Yep.
And then dumps them on Stannis, essentially. And Stannis is going to send Tychos Nestorius up to Jon Snow, who he's going to argue with about terms and
pay
loans
me more money.
Yeah, for the Night's Watch. So we have a reunion. Christopher Botley and Carl the Maid. There's a couple others. I have them written down here somewhere. 6 of Stannis's... nope. Please hold.
Holding. Holding. Please hold. Thank you very much.
Yeah, where did I put these guys? I have like lists and lists of dudes.
You have
Not
too many.
Sour Allen. I have too many dudes on lists.
Too many people.
What was the thing where there was like, I have binders full... Oh, that was it. Binders full of women. I have lists full of dudes.
You have list full of dudes.
Here it is. Yep. Christopher Botley, Carl the Maid, Rogan, Roggon, Grimtongue.
Rogan. Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan.
Oh, Joe Rogan's in this. Okay.
Yeah, so it's Carl the Maid, Joe Rogan, Grimtongue, Fingers and Rook.
Fingers and Rook. I love that one.
Fingers and Rook.
Oh,
Fingers and Rook.
That's the name of my grunge band from high school.
Fingers and Rook.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see Fingers and Rook in Winds of Winter?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think? You think Asha goes there just to get Reek? No fucking way.
All right, I'm doing it, dude. I am putting my blue curacao into this.
Pick me up.
Stannis Sour.
While Tana's going to be doing that, I want to quickly shout out to another one of our sponsors. Do you like wearing your glasses? No, neither do I. But do you want to look like a faceless man? Do you want to have the deep, cold stare to give your loved ones just like an icy White Walker? Well, go ahead and take on some Mirish lenses and Bravos colored glass Valerian contact lenses. You can get those at www.IhaveNoIdeaWhatTheFuckI'mSaying.com.
For the internet in Westeros.
That's right.
It's going to be the Weirwood net. So
the
just
Weirwood net.
Carve
That's
into
right.
a tree. Carve the following URL into a tree. To surf
and you'll be able to
net.
find those beautiful contact lenses, which will also give you a third eye.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
David.
See how I tied it in?
These are good.
I tied it in.
Good.
Yeah.
You're really good at ads on the fly.
Thank you. Like I said, we should be in marketing. I'm just going to quit our jobs and be a marketing exec, like Mad Men, Just fucking secretaries and all sorts of crazy shit. Smoking cigarettes in the office, with pints of bourbon,
All of that sounds awful.
Yeah, I know.
David, can you tell me some of Stannis' most trusted knights and advisors?
Davos is the only one I can name. So
ding, ding, ding. True or false? Stannis the Manus still thinks Wyman Manderley murdered Davos in the books. True or false?
Ooh. False. Davos is home at Castle Black with wife Stannis and Shireen.
Very wrong.
Oh my god. Well, he thinks Wyman Manderley murdered Davos?
Yes.
When
and
Davos
says,
went to go talk to him?
Yep. because Davos killed a homeless man and put his head on a spike with an onion in his mouth, saying, to prove to the phrase that he was loyal, that he had killed Stannis' hand, Davos Seaworth. And it's not until in the Dance with Dragons book that we see Davos not get killed.
Yep.
And instead have a secret meeting with Wyman Manderley. But it's important to note that Stannis the Manus doesn't know that yet.
Yeah.
At the end of the book, he does not know
that's not
that
good.
Davos is still alive and that Wyman Manderley did not kill him.
Yeah, and Wyman is putting the Freys in pies, serving them to the Freys.
Yeah. So let's switch gears to Winterfell.
Okay.
So we have Winterfell, which has been burnt and sacked by Ramsay Bolton.
And they're in the process of rebuilding. Yep.
The last thing that Theon remembers is his horse Smiler being set on fire. And all I can think is like the day the Smiles died. Is that a song?
It's the day the music died, American Pie. They were singing, bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my horse to the levee, and now the levee
was
is
on
dry.
fire.
That's right. And good old boys were drinking meat and rye, singing,
Nice.
This'll be the day the Smiles die.
Everyone dies. So the day the
Did
Smiles
you
died,
write the book of love, and do you have faith in crows above?
Nice. Caw-caw, caw-caw.
'Cause the werewood tells you so.
Fantastic.
Now
David.
do you believe in Bear the Bard? Can his horse save your mortal card? And can you jump off that tower real slow?
Into the snow.
Oh, that would have been better. Into the snow. Damn it.
So, hey, my question earlier was, can you name a couple of Stannis' knights? There are 3 of note. 2 of them are terrible. One of them is interesting to me.
Okay.
2 horrible ones are... The sigil is a flying pig.
Ooh.
A pig with wings. Do you have any idea what that knight's name is?
Bacon.
Oh, not really.
Damn
Clayton
it.
Suggs.
Clayton and Bacon sound similar.
There is kind of a similarity there. I'll give you a half a point
All right.
I will.
Look, I'll take it wherever I can get it. That's the truth.
Yeah, Clayton Suggs has the winged pig sigil, and he is a sadist who helped torture women, especially on Dragonstone. And he is a sadistic nightmare asshole. His breath always smells like onions, and he wants to burn Asha Greyjoy at the stake.
Yeah.
So he's a R'hllorist, but mostly just because he likes watching people burn, not because he super loves them. So there's Clayton Suggs, and then the other one of note is Sir Richard Horp. He's introduced, so he has been like a Stannis the Manus guy for a long time. But I think he's going to die in this next book. Because of the way there's this going for him. Death is a part of war, Justin, said Richard Horp, who stood in the doorway, his hair dark and damp with melting snow. And I think of Rob, who had the snow melting in his hair, and they're also talking about death. I think maybe Richard Thorpe is going to bite the big one in this battle coming up. But he seems a little villainous, so I don't know. He's Richard Horp of House Horp, one of the Queen's men. He loves to burn people, and he loves to kill things. He once tried to be a Kingsguard for Robert. Yep. Stannis' brother, but Cersei didn't like him. And Stannis is like, it might have been a good call because he really loves killing shit. But yeah, so Richard is always next to Stannis and is like his go-to man. He has 3 death head moths as his sigil. And then there's Clayton Suggs, the winged pig, who's a sadist. But then there's a kind of good guy. Do you remember this guy?
No, I don't remember any of the Stannis knights.
He's interesting for a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
So this night...
Tell me his sigil first. Maybe it'll ring a bell.
Okay. That sounds great. Let me find... Oh, it's an ancient sigil.
An ancient?
From an ancient house.
Ooh.
His sigil is a triple spiral. A red spiral, a green spiral, and blue on a white background. I'll even give you his last name. And maybe you can tell me where his house is from or any of their historical relevance.
All right, we'll give it a shot. I don't have high hopes.
Okay, so this knight is from House Massey.
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 That's the name of the pest company that takes care of my termites.
Well, this one has an ancient sigil of a triple spiral in red, green, and blue.
Are they
red,
from
green, and blue?
High Garden and the Valeria?
Well, they do have some. There's a tertiary connection to the Valerians, but this House Massey is at the mouth of the Blackwater Rush.
Oh.
Their house their main castle is called Stone Dance on Massey's Hook. And historically, House Massey has fought over control of the Blackwater Rush, the mouth. And it has a history of being loyal to Targaryens. So there are a lot of really important Massey knights. But the Masseys have First Men blood, which I think is interesting. And here's Justin Massey, who is like hovering around Asha Greyjoy and trying to protect her. She thinks he's made of suet because he's kind of a chicken shit when he actually gets challenged on anything. But this is his description, Justin Massey. Fair, with a neatly trimmed blonde beard and thick, straight hair so pale that it seemed more white than gold. His tunic bore the triple spiral, an ancient sigil for an ancient house. So, white hair.
Yeah, silver hair.
Yeah, that sounds very Targaryen to me. And somewhere in their history, a Massey married a Valerian. Which is a very close sort of Targaryen.
So he's trying to protect Asha and kind of give her some advice, or at least get some advice out of her, and caution Stannis on just killing her right away.
Well, he wants to marry her for her claim, is how it seems.
Okay.
Because he has lost Stone Dance. He has been a dispossessed knight. But the interesting thing with Justin is that Stannis, in the Winds of Winter chapter from Theon, calls Justin Massey in and tells him, "You have a glib tongue and an easy way about you, so I am going to send you to Braavos with Tychos Nestoris." So Justin Massey, I think, is somebody we're going to watch. And my question to you, David, is this a way that Arya Stark, who is in Braavos, gets back?
Yeah,
so,
I think so. I mean, we do see that Arya chapter, right, where she kills
Raff the Sweetling.
Yes, Raff the Sweetling in the play. But how did Raff the Sweetling get there? Right, he comes with he's one of Cersei's men, right?
He's there with Harry Strickland. Yep, who is the master of coin?
Yeah, for the Golden Company.
Who's not Harry Strickland? Who am I thinking of? The Chicken Knight. He is the. Not Harry Strickland. It's her father-in-law. He's gonna basically
Tyrell,
he's
Mace.
her master of coin.
Mace Tyrell.
It's not Mace though, but it's somebody like Mace, but it's not Mace.
Mace is master of coin, is he not?
No, he is not master of coin. He's the father-in-law to the future queen, or the father of the future queen. What is his name? Harry. I know this. Henry. So Stannis Sours.
Stannis Sour. Yeah.
I will have that answer at the ready when we do our Braavos episode or our Cersei episode
who is still alive.
But for now, here's the quote I want to read to you. Can I?
Yes, absolutely. You don't have to ask permission to read quotes to me, Tana. Come on.
Just,
No, you may not read that quote. Move on.
This one was fair. So send in Justin Massey, another knight Theon knew when Massey entered. This one was fair, with a neatly trimmed blonde beard. This is the thing I just read. And thick straight hair so pale it seemed more white than gold. His tunic bore the triple spiral, an ancient sigil for an ancient house. "I was told your grace had need of me," he said from one knee. Stannis nodded. "You will escort the Bravosi banker back to the wall. Choose 6 good men and take 12 horses. To ride or to eat?"
Oh.
The king was not amused. "I want you gone before midday, sir. Lord Bolton could be upon us at any moment, and it is imperative that the banker return to Braavos. You shall accompany him along across the narrow sea." "Sir, if there is to be a battle, my place is here with you. Your place is where I say it is. I have 500 swords as good as you or better, but you have a pleasing manner and a glib tongue, and those will be of more use to me at Braavos than here. The Iron Bank has opened its coffers to me. You will collect their coin and hire ships and sellswords, a company of good repute if you can find one, and this is where it gets interesting. The Golden Company would be my first choice, if they are not already under contract. This is where I think he's either going to hook up with Dany or find Arya or both.
Yep.
Seek for them in the disputed lands if need be, but first hire as many swords as you can find in Braavos and send them to me by way of Eastwatch. Archers as well. We need more bows. And Justin, is going to continue to talk to him for a little while about this. But the idea that he has to go, so Justin Massey's mission is to go to Braavos, which is where Arya is. Uh-huh. And Arya can change faces. And he is going to hire sellswords. We have seen in the series before that people get hidden in armies. Tyrion did this as a ruse to try to free Jaime Lannister earlier in the series when he was being held at River Run. Arya could theoretically, perhaps, embed herself in Stannis' army to get back to Westeros if she wanted to go to the north.
Oh, okay.
And I think that there's some reason. A lot of people think she's going to land in King's Landing or, near where Cersei and the Heart of Power is. Yep. And there's good reason for that. But in this passage, it occurred to me that she might just join in with Stannis. Stannis is hiring a bunch of nobodies. She could pose as a soldier, one of these many people, meet Justin Massey, and head over to Eastwatch where she knows Jon Snow is.
Yeah, but there's no way that these sellswords get over here in time for this battle of Winterfell, right? So Stannis is basically predicting that he's going to win and meet up with these sellswords after this battle of Winterfell. I mean,
it goes on, and he says something very interesting, which I think is telling about this future battle on the lake. He says, they talk a little bit about numbers and a little bit about strategy. And then we get to this part where it says, as you command, Sir Justin said, it may well be that we shall lose this battle, the king said grimly. In Braavos, you may hear that I am dead. It might even be true. You shall find my sellswords nonetheless. The knight hesitated. Your grace, if you are dead, you will avenge my death and seat my daughter on the Iron Throne or die in the attempt. The other thing is, Shireen has not burned yet. Stannis hasn't burned his own daughter yet. Yep. He probably will, but Shireen is still very much alive and very much beloved of Stannis.
You think he will? You think that was not just a show ad? You think that's coming?
I think the setup is in the books for it already because he considers burning Edric Storm.
Yep.
He considers killing his nephew. What is one child's life against 1,000? He asks Davos, yep. And Davos says it's everything. Yep. And if he's willing to do it for his nephew, but then he can't, I think, we're going to have to see. I'm not convinced that Stannis gives a shit about his kid. So I think if we get an early chapter in Winds that shows Stannis, lovingly hanging out with Shireen and, really liking her, then she's doomed. Then she's just going to fucking burn by the end of the book.
So the key is, Stannis, don't be a good dad. Just like Snow was not a good boyfriend. That turned out great.
Oh my God. I do think that the show got some of the big strokes right, which, I just think there's going to be more of an emotional payoff and it's going to make more sense when we see it in the books.
Yep. So who else haven't we covered in the North?
So here's the one last thing that I want to say here. In Braavos, you may hear that I am dead. It might even be true. It might even be true. Stannis is planning something here, David. Mm-hmm. It might even be... You're going to hear I'm dead, says Stannis, revealing accidentally his plan to Justin Massey. You might hear I'm dead because I'm planning on faking my own death.
Yep.
Now, we had the pink letter from earlier, the bastard letter from earlier.
It says I've killed Stannis. Said,
yes. I think... So there are two factions that leave Winterfell. One of them are the Freys through, I want to say, the North Gate. The Manderleys go out through the Wolf Gate. I might have that. It doesn't matter. But basically, there's a big fight. The Freys and the Manderleys are at each other's throats. Roose Bolton is losing control of it. He sends them out to go find and fight Stannis.
Yep.
Now, the Manderleys hate the Freys.
Yep.
The North hates the Freys.
Yep.
Stannis is making his stand on a lake that has been pockmarked by fishing holes and stuff. He's on a little bit of an island. There's a weirwood island, and from far away, it's going to look like a field. These people, all of the Bolton scouts that have been sent out have been killed, so they don't have any information.
Yep, they've dug trenches, right, all over the place, and yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that the Manderleys force is going to trade. I think that the Manderleys are going to change sides.
Yep.
They won't join with Stannis, but like ostensibly they'll say, you know, we're with Jon Snow.
And how is that going to work? You think Wyman Manderley is going to tell Stannis, I didn't kill Davos?
So that's the fly in the ointment and how things could go wrong. It shocked me to remember that Stannis doesn't know that Wyman Manderley is his ally. He doesn't know that yet.
Right.
Wyman is going to be, he's not a fighting man. He's back in Winterfell, but his men have ridden out to go find Stannis.
Yep.
I think that what's going to happen is that Manderley's forces are going to turn on the Frey forces and join, at least in this battle, with Stannis's men. Stannis's men have made the ice all around their camp really weak.
Yep.
So a lot of men, the stronger force, the well-fed force, is going to fall through the ice. I think Stannis could take some of the Frey bannermen uniforms. I think he could dress
his
it up.
army
Yes.
as them and then get into
Yes.
Winterfell. Okay.
Yes, that's what I think he can do.
Little
So
Trojan horse style.
Yeah, and I think that when he says, in Bravos you may hear that I am dead, it may even be true, when he says that to Justin Massey, I think he reveals that he's thinking of doing this kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That he knows he can't take Winterfell by force, but that the Northmen, the Umbers, who won't fight each other, and who are all for Ned, that he can get them as allies and take Winterfell from the inside. And I think when Ramsay Snow writes that pink letter, 7 days of battle, I killed Stannis, I have his magic sword, I think Stannis is still alive.
Yep.
I think he gives him, you know, like he gives his troops in disguise his magic sword. I think that they put a bunch of Freys to death.
Yep.
I think he does torture Abel / Bale the Bard / Mance Rayder. I think Mance Rayder is still alive in a cage and may or may not die.
Wearing the cloaks of his 7 whores or 6 whores.
And the other thing is, none of the Northmen who are at Ramsay Bolton's wedding give a shit about that.
Yeah.
Like none of them. They know that he's keeping Jane Poole up in his bedroom and torturing her until she escapes.
Yep.
They can hear her screaming at night. They see the rank violence and the flayed men, and they hate all of it. There's also that plot that's going around Winterfell of the snowmen. I have a thing. They're
killing guards, right, or something like that, like secretly killing guards. Yeah.
Yes. They're so there's just a lot of disquiet, and nobody likes the Boltons.
Yep.
And I think Winterfell is ripe to turn over. So I think if Stannis does infiltrate the Winterfell camp, I think if he has 7 days is a long time for a battle, quote unquote, to continue. I think maybe there was some planning involved. I don't think too many Freys are coming back from this battle. I think a lot of Manderley men and quote unquote Northmen are making it back. And I think they're bringing things that make it look
like
and sound.
They killed Stannis.
Yes.
I love it. I love that theory. I think we need to end on that theory because it's giving me hope for Stannis the Manus. In our Stannis episode, we asked, is Stannis still alive? And I think in this, we are saying he is.
Emphatically.
He is.
Yes.
Ladies
David,
and gentlemen,
my friend,
Tana.
Nerds and neckbeards.
Thank you for listening. This has been another excellent episode of Westeros Wheneverly. Sub-episode of Who is Still Alive? Live.
The Northern Edition.
Live.
Dave?
Yes.
Where can people find us? If people want to email us, where can they email us, Dave?
You can absolutely email us at WesteroSWheneverly@gmail.com. That's WesteroSWheneverly@gmail.com. Go ahead and you want to tell us what to drink next, we'll go ahead and drink next. If you have some ideas for cool sponsors like Benjamin and Jogo's fermented mare's milk ice cream, or some Mirish lenses with Bravos colored glass and some Valerian death staring contact lenses, go ahead and email them to us, because we'll read them on the air. It don't matter what it is, we'll make up something for you. Because
Dave will read them on the air.
I'll read them on the air.
Dave has this on lock. Yeah, Dave has this on lock. And I am Tana Ford. You can get me at Tana Ford on Twitter, or tanaford.designs on Instagram, although I'm not super great at Instagram. I'm also at tanaford.designs on Facebook.
Check out all her amazing stuff. She's got awesome artwork you can go buy. She's been illustrating Silk. She's been illustrating LaGuardia. Is there anything else?
I'm working on the last episode, issue of Livewire, written by Vida Ayala for Valiant Comics. It has been phenomenal. It is being edited by the incredible Heather Antos. The Valiant comic people are just amazing. It is a wonderful book put out by a wonderful company, so you should check out Livewire if you're into comics. And I will be at Boston's Comikaze next weekend, September 21st.
Get the car. It's down the stairs.
That's your Boston accent?
That's my
really?
Boston accent. Was it not good?
Dude, don't fucking come to me with that shit.
The car's
David.
parked.
No,
Get out of the car park. We got the Comics Con.
Your Boston accent is as good as your Northern Australian accent. So that's where I'll be. And then you can catch me in October at New York City Comic Con. David, where can our fans find you?
You can find me sitting at home playing video games. And basically, I tweet occasionally at W4RRI, which is Worry. It's my little handle. And following that same nomenclature, if you magically happen to find me broadcasting on Twitch, you can find me at twitch.tv/W4RRI. But in all seriousness, I'm lazy, so the best way to reach me is just email westeroswheneverly@gmail.com.
Yes.
And listen more to our podcast. If you have ideas of episodes you want to hear us do, if you have if we got something wrong and you just want to shit on us, I mean, we're all about fan interaction. So just give us a call, give us an email, or tweet us, and
maybe we should do like a Twitter poll or something, or you can email us if you want to just email us. What area should we focus on next for our disjointed, half-drunken recaps of Where Are They Now?
I think the last time I did a Twitter poll, it was, would you watch me stream? And 2 people voted, and
both of them were
no. So I'm not gonna put out any Twitter polls because no one reads them.
Well, email us at westeroswheneverly@gmail.com, and we will catch you next time on Who is Still Alive? Westeros
Wheneverly.